I'd like to talk about forgotten people who are seafarers. As you were doing your Christmas shopping, I wonder how many people thought about who brought their clothes or gifts, etc., that you purchased to the UK. About 90% of everything that we use comes from here by ship. You've only got to see a book called The Mind-Blowing Book by Rose George. 90% of everything. Even in such a large port as Liverpool, we tend to forget seafarers. I work as a volunteer at the Liverpool Seafarers Centre 2 mornings a week. You might have passed the centre. It's just past the Seaforth flyover on the crossroads when you're heading north towards Southport. This centre provides seafarers with a change of scenery, a small shop, a bar, clothes including woolly hats, and is an ecumenical centre attending to their spiritual as well as physical needs. The centre welcomes up to 1,000 seafarers a month. We also provide cheap telephone cards, computers, and provide Wi-Fi, as most seamen nowadays have laptops which can be used at the centre. Within a couple of minutes they are able to Skype their family at home. Very few ship owners provide internet access for the crew. The largest Liverpool dock near to the Seaforth flyover is Seaforth Dock. Occupies 500 acres, handling ships up to 70,000 tonnes. Manning levels per ship vary between 6 to 7 for the smaller ships to the low 20s for the larger ones. This means very little time off for the crew serving on smaller ships. Usually they work 6 hours on, 6 hours off, 7 days a week. Nowadays, at least in my opinion, I think that seafarers are invisible men. In fact, if you mention the 2 words merchant navy, the majority of people would say we don't have one, or that we don't know, or they don't know what we're talking about. Unfortunately, the British Merchant Navy doesn't have many ships with British seafarers, as cheaper labour can be sourced abroad. And these are the seafarers we're talking about. I speak as an ex-seafarer, having served at sea for 46 years, from cadet to master. Perhaps I'm prejudiced. However, I think we should spare a thought for these people. It is not enough that they are forgotten about, but they are also badly treated. This is an incident that happened in Liverpool last year. It was discovered by the International Transport Federation, who work to keep international standards up in shipping, that the full crew aboard a ship had not been paid their full rate. They've been underpaid. Because of this, the departure of the ship was stopped. And the following day, the crew were paid the money due to them. But a few hours later, it was taken away from them by an official from their country who had flown to the UK to deal with this matter. Again, the departure of the vessel was postponed. Then the crew again received their money, and they were flown home to the Philippines. On landing, the extra money was again taken away from the crew members at Manila Airport, apart from one man who managed to avoid the company official. That lucky man would be blacklisted and not allowed any further employment at sea. There are quite a few unscrupulous ship owners who not only underpay the seafarers' wage, but also allow their ships to be kept in atrocious conditions. Sometimes they just abandon them, and then the missions to seamen have to come in to support them, and the courts have to supply bunkers and water to the ships. Regarding filthy accommodation and galleys and that, this is picked up by government surveyors throughout the world, and the ship is stopped. The ship is detained and not allowed to sail. So next time you're doing your shopping, please give a thought to these poor seafarers who are often away from homes for up to a year with very little time off. In the last week, there have been 2 shipping disasters, and one in the week before that when 16 crew were lost at sea, showing how hazardous it is to be at sea. I think they deserve our thoughts. Thank you for listening to me, and I would like to thank Tim Bransden for helping me with the PowerPoint projection on the project. Thank you.